Was here not as president, though. He was actually in contention for the Democratic nomination. He came to Selma for the bridge crossing jubilee. Hillary Clinton was also here with her husband, former President Bill Clinton, and then we also had John McCain here. We had a lot of people come to Selma. He was here, but not as president. I believe this is the first time we've had the first family, the entire family here in the state of Alabama. Again, as you mentioned, he'll be making several stops today as we wait for Air Force One to round the bend here at Tuscaloosa Airport. He will be coming off the plane here shortly, and we will wait for his remarks. Of course, he made remarks yesterday concerning some changes in the security and in cabinet positions yesterday, but before he addressed that, he addressed the people of Alabama and the situation here and said that he would be making this visit and also promised any and all efforts to be made as far as accommodating the people here in Alabama and helping the folks rebuild who lost so much in those storms that came through on Wednesday. You
have to wonder, too, on the flight in, probably the best view of the damage would be from the air. So I'm imagining there were some pressed foreheads to the window as they were looking out the window to see what might be below them, and it's probably just a tough sight from the air right there. As we've seen some of the aerial pictures over Tuscaloosa, it really looks like entire neighborhoods and storefronts just completely wiped out, and the president has seen it from the air, and soon he will see it from the ground as well as he will get out and take the tour of the city of Tuscaloosa. I'm imagining going to the hardest hit areas, McFarland Avenue, one of the many places that took that hardest shot, and every time we see that tornado that moved through there, it's almost tough to believe that even more damage wasn't done. But the president will get to see Tuscaloosa today with the first family, and he'll be off Air Force One. You know, the good thing about being the president, you probably don't have to wait too long to get off the plane and wait for all the other people to get out. You get to get off first.
No, they get right out of your way, and you get to kind of do whatever you want to as far as what time you want to get off. They're on his schedule right now. And again, that federal aid that he talked about is already underway. We have talked about Maxwell Air Force Base being designated one of those spots around the state that will be part of the mobilization of all of the federal aid. Tractor trailers full of supplies already on the way there. Several FEMA personnel already there. The presidential visit, again, he is landing there in Tuscaloosa right now. There he is on Air Force One. That is one of many stops that he'll make throughout the day today. We're not really sure exactly where he'll be going, and that might have something to do with security measures. But then after that, he will be going to the shuttle launch down at Cape Canaveral Kennedy Space Center, and then he will also give a speech at Miami-Dade College a little bit later today. So a busy day ahead for the first family, but it's starting out this morning right here in Alabama.
And you can see the folks of Tuscaloosa excited about the president coming to their hometown, even under the circumstances. As folks line the fence at the Tuscaloosa Regional Airport, you can see extra security, military personnel, state troopers, everybody out there. Is probably pretty customary when the president comes to any local airport for whatever reason that might be. But again, the president should be in town for about 2 hours today. Not sure what type of access the media will have to him. He'll usually get off the plane and make a brief statement, and then probably go off with city, state, local leaders and tour those damaged sites and get a look at those sites. And the goal, and I think Tuscaloosa's mayor said it best, if the president comes to our town and that means him stopping here, means that we get more federal assistance, then I am happy to see him here, and he can stay as long as he wants. Anything to kind of let him know how much damage was done and how much help Tuscaloosa and the rest of the state. He's only stopping here, but I'm sure he's going to get a look or a report on the damage in other parts of our state, because that's just one of, 17 different counties have suffered major problems.
And another reason I think it's great he's here is something that Josh mentioned a little bit earlier, is it shines a spotlight on the state of Alabama. So many of us take for granted, because we live here, about this great state and the great people who live here and the tenacity of the people who live here. But if you don't come from Alabama, if you haven't spent some time here, then you might not understand Alabamians and what we're made of. And so here the president is this morning, and shining a spotlight on Alabama and what's going on here. I think he's going to meet some great people today. He's going to see some great people, hear some stories about, yes, loss, of course, and see a lot of damage and destruction, but he's also going to see some good people who are going to come together and rally behind the efforts here. There it is, rolling to a stop, Air Force One. On board, of course, President Barack Obama. We're also expecting to see step off the plane with him First Lady Michelle Obama and his daughters Sasha and Malia.
And this is the White House official schedule they've sent to all of the media. It'll become in the president. It's in Eastern time. It says 10:50. We know it's 9:50 right now, and they're pretty much dead on time.
Right.
9:50, it's 9:50 and 21 seconds right now. The president is ready to get out of Air Force One, and again, he will touch down, be in Alabama at 9:50. It says at 11:10, so 10:10 our time. The president and first lady will view the damage as well as meet with Governor Robert Bentley, state and local officials, and some families affected by the storms. At that time, there will be some media, not all media, allowed to go along with the president, and we all share that video when anything like this happens. This big, everybody pulls together, and that video will be shared, so we'll all have the same access to the president. The first family expected to leave the Tuscaloosa Regional Airport at around 11:45 our time this afternoon, and at that time there'll be one last chance for the media maybe to get the president's reaction to what he saw while he touched down here in Alabama. But you can see state, local leaders, security personnel, Secret Service, Congressman Spencer Baucus down there as well, waiting to shake the president's hand and hopefully lead him off and show him some of the things that happened. Yeah,
welcoming him to Alabama. There's a contingency of people who I'm sure went through a lot of security measures to be that close to the president and Air Force One. And there are other people outside lining the fence there. That looks like Governor Robert Bentley right there. We're looking at him from behind, and some of his staff members
Senator
and
Shelby
some
on the
other
right there,
people. Yeah, there is Senator Shelby. We are recognizing some of the Sessions there. There is Senator Sessions also. I'm not recognizing. I can't see that. Ladies, it might be. We talked to her yesterday, of course. The door swinging open now on Air Force One as they roll those stairs up to the plane, and we should see our Commander-in-Chief step into the doorway here in just a moment and come off the plane, and we will hear from him as he gets ready to take a tour of the most hard hit, the most devastated areas here in Alabama as we continue our coverage here on WSFA 12 News. And good morning to those of you who are watching us on the World Wide Web. We are streaming our broadcast live, so I've already heard from people on Facebook and Twitter and email who are watching us and thanked us because they are not able to be here in Alabama with their family and friends, and they're worried about them and wondering how this story is progressing, and saying thank you to WSFA for keeping them there. And we thank you for tuning in and being a part of our coverage here. And we will be